Hello, everyone. We're going to start here. We're going to start here in a minute. So, okay, we're going to start. We're going to start with what we're going to talk about today. While people check in, we're going to talk about mediumship tools. And I'm going to teach you a little bit, some things I haven't really taught in class. I'll be teaching them this Friday, but some of you are not going to be here on Friday night's classes. So I'm going to teach them here today. So you get an opportunity to attend a class that I would be teaching here in Casadega. We're going to talk about what tools to use, what tools to connect to in your vibration. And what we're talking about is the first tool, it should be visualization of vibrations. And that's kind of getting yourself quiet and understanding that you're in control of what's going on. And start visualizing, try to visualize in color. Try to visualize a flower. Try to visualize something, whether it be a car, a flower, a scene, a person. Try to visualize them in your mind's eye. Try to visualize them in your third eye. Try to visualize that person in color. Try to visualize that. And see how that feels to you. See how that connects to you. See how that feels to your vibration as you visualize this person in color. What kind of feeling do you get when you make that happen? When you make that vibration happen? Then when spirit is working with you, spirit is working through your vibration, you're going to truly understand that when they're working with you, you're going to get images that you really didn't force yourself to get. They just appeared. They just appeared in your view. They just appeared in your vibration. And what you're going to do is you're going to be able to transfigure yourself from physical, you doing it, and spiritual, them bringing it to you. So you want to try to see how it feels when you're forcing it, or if you're just allowing it to happen. A lot of people get psychic abilities, get all these vibrations in their lives sometimes through traumatic events in their lives. They have a near-death experience. They have an accident. Something happened. They have a really bad sickness. Things happen in life. They get very intuitive. They get very psychic. Vibrations start to appear in their auric field. But we all really don't want to go through a sickness or a death or situations in our lives and near-death experience just to get psychic abilities, just to get that heightened in our vibration. So it's this question of visualization, of allowing, it will heighten your vibration, get you to where you need to be, and you want to try to find this. And the exercise mostly is just natural. You develop your clairvoyance by working with your visualization, working with that situation. Like get a picture in the vibration, get a picture and hold on to it, look at it, hold on to it, and try to visualize that picture without just looking at the picture. Just look at the picture for about 3-4 minutes, then put it away and see if you can visualize that picture in front of you. Start practicing in that way. Start practicing in that direction. Because there's a book out called Living Rainbows. And I tell people to buy the book. I tell the people to get the book. It shows you how to see auras. I really like the book because it's small. It's very comfortable to read. But it also has these colored cards in it. You get to take out of the book, look at those colored cards and look at them. And then look at them for about a minute, then pull the cards away. You'll notice the symbol, the vibration, the color will start to move around the room. It'll move and throughout the vibration. It starts to teach you how to see it, how to concentrate on the vibration. And the thing too is number 2 should be to allow yourself to focus. Focusing on something in your life, focusing on when you go to see auras, so you go to see auras in some of these vibrations, what are you going to do? You're going to look at a part of their shoulder. You're going to look at a part of their anatomy, part of their ear, part of their vibration. You're going to look at not the whole person, not the whole situation, but part of it, and allow that energy to start to build. So you need to focus on a vibration, focus on a situation, focus on it. Candle gazing is an extremely powerful tool because you get to just sit there and just stare at a candle, just stare at it. You know, and once your focus wavers from the candle, you bring it back to the candle. Well, you start to train yourself to stay in focus. When we do mediumship, when I do mediumship, how I work, your parents will show up. People will show up. I've got people running around the floor. I have people bringing stuff. There are packages over here. There's stuff being dragged around. There's noises going on behind me. There's people talking. There's all this stuff is going on. And that lasts probably about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. I get all this information like, ooh. And out of those 2.5 minutes, I've got to start the reading. I've got to start this connection to spirit. I've got to figure out what they've done, know what they've put in motion, and give you a rational reading from what they put in motion. That's what happens with mediumship, because you're doing this with like 2-3 minutes. You've got all the information right in front of you, and through those 2-3 minutes, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to work with it. I teach in class. If I see a bicycle, a red bicycle, I see a yellow bird, I see a blue car, and I see a palm tree. And then everything goes black. Now, out of all that, I've got to give you a reading from that bicycle, the bird, car, palm tree. I've got to give you a reading from that situation. I've got to talk to you from that situation. I've got to give you that connection. See, it's learning to do the psychic alphabet, but it's learning to see what things mean to you, how they fit in the vibration for you. That's one of the key tools. So you don't stumble. You don't stumble with the vibration and go, I don't know what that is. Oh God. And you just get it. And you, once you say that, once you tell the spirit world, I don't know what that is. I don't know. You drop your energy out. You drop that vibration out. When you start to breathe, you connect to your breathing. You connect to that vibration of breath. You start to bring yourself to a higher vibration. What happens is you get into the flow. Get into this flow of energy that flows through the universal, all the universal knowledge. You're in that flow. Now, if you stop breathing or you go, oh, I don't know, you drop out of that vibration. You drop out of that flow. Then you have to start breathing again. You got to get quiet, you got to breathe, you got to do this stuff. Then you got to raise your vibration and get to a higher sense of consciousness instead of just staying there, just staying in that consciousness, in that flow of energy. And we all know when we get there, we all know that, boy, the information's coming, it's crisp, it's good, it's pumped, it's comfortable, the information is set. We know when we're in the flow. It's usually because we're flowing through the information and we're just giving the information and we're not really thinking about it. We're not really thinking, we're just giving it. We're just putting out the information. We're in the flow of energy. But training yourself or teaching yourself what things mean, what they connect to, allowing yourself to be able to breathe, figuring out the breath within your vibration. How do you breathe? How do you connect to spirit? How do you work with them? When I teach mediumship, when you're right and you're talking to somebody, or you're getting information from spirit, there should be a feeling within your vibration. Not everybody gets the same feeling. Not everybody says, oh my God, Lou, I got the same feeling you do. No, you're going to get a feeling that spirit works with you with. You could get like pressed against your face, and we could touch your ears. You could feel an energy around your vibration. Something in your auric field will show you. And that's what you do, is you kind of watch and see that feeling. When you're right, that feeling will show up. It'll be there. Then every time you give a reading, somebody could shake their head. They could say no. They could say, oh my God, you don't have anybody I know. But you know, you've got the feeling. You've got this connection. You know that you're on the right track. You're on the right vibration. That's when you start asking guides. You start asking guides, okay, you're giving me this information. Why? Why are you giving it to me? Why? You're always trying to talk to them. You're always trying to converse with them. Why are you giving this information? Why is this coming through? Why is this happening to this? I have strong discussions with my guides, asking them how, why are things appear. That has things to do with mediumship, whether it has to do with healing, whether it has to do with remote viewing, whether it has to do with any of these modalities. You have to teach yourself to get in the flow and trust your vibrations. You're right. You're in the mode. You're in the vibration. Allowing that energy to come through you. And that's what you're doing. You're just teaching yourself to do that. I know it takes time. It's not something you do like overnight. Oh my God, Lou, I'm there. I'm in. I have people in classes that I teach them about two classes. They're ready. They're ready to go. And it takes a lot more time than that to kind of teach yourself to see how you work with different individuals. How do you work with different situations, different platforms? Like this past Sunday, I was in Grove Service here. The platform there is different. It's on the solid ground. You're here. It's a different vibration. I'm down in Colby Temple. You have to stand up on a platform. Different energy. It's a different vibration when you give messages. I'm going to go to church Sunday in Orlando. The energy is different there. It's just different vibrational energy. It's just different. So you have to be in conjuncture with your vibration, not because you're in conjunction with the space. Space isn't going to help you. If you're only in conjunction with one space, you have to be in conjunction with your vibration. That's teaching yourself, trusting yourself, letting go of fear. That's one of the key values I teach in mediumship. Be let go of fear, let go of the connection of fear in your life. If you're afraid that you're not going to be able to connect, you probably won't connect. If you're afraid that the messages you're going to give isn't going to touch base, you're probably not going to touch base. If you have that fear of movement, that fear of the vibration, that'll kill the mediumship reading. It'll kill the vibration. Because you'll have a feeling before you read somebody, if you can read them or not. You'll just have that, connection, that feeling. When I teach in class, when you're sitting in front of somebody, when you're sitting with somebody, they bring all their luggage with them. Doesn't matter what luggage they bring all of it with them. They bring everything in the room with them. So when they bring that into the room, I have to kind of sort through it. I have to kind of wade through it. Maybe I need to rest my feet up on one of the suitcases. Maybe I need to rest my feet on one of the suitcases. But you have to realize that I still have to deal with that energy within the space, within the vibration. I still have to deal with it. So when you're doing mediumship and people tell you, oh my God, I need this, I need this, I need this. Remember, when you're dealing with mediumship, you're dealing with the higher vibration, that higher connection of energy, that higher connection of your energy. It's not how the person in your room or the person you're doing readings for are connected. It's not. It's how you are connected to the spirit world. You are the conduit. You are that vibration where spirit works through you to bring forth the messages. See, I can hope that the person in my office is attuned to a higher vibration, I would hope, but I can't trust that to happen. What I do is I have to raise my own vibration, get myself in that point, so I am that clear conduit, so I can bring the messages, and I'm not trusting you to bring the messages for me, bring them into the vibration. See, it's that question of visualization, visualizing. People come in your office, I can look at you when you walk in, I can see the people, vibrations following you, the situations that are going on in your auric field, who's following you, what you need to decide on. There's all this stuff manifesting within your auric field. So that happens when you first walk into the vibration. It doesn't matter, you bring it with you. And I have to kind of sort some of that, put it on shelves maybe for later. I have to reassort where you're moving your energy towards. And that's where you teach yourself. Maybe I've done it for all these years that I've just got used to it. But it's understanding how it works for you. How maybe visualization, by just visualizing something in your head, maybe that's not going to quite work for you. Maybe you need to look at something, put some stuff out in front of you. Stare at a pot of plants, stare at a book, stare at something in the room. Give it a few moments. Give it about a minute and a half. And then close your eyes and see if you can visualize it in color. See if you can get that to visualize itself in color. And I'll have people that will tell me, so Lewis, I don't see things in color. I don't see it. I'm colorblind. Well, you're still going to see the energy of the book, the energy of the vibration, energy of the plant. When I was out here many years ago. I was in classes with Mary Rossi, and Reverend Mary Rossi. She was here in this organization. And she would tell me, visualize the rose, Luke, visualize the rose. So we'd sit in a circle in her office, and we'd all be looking at the rose. Now visualize the rose. And once we visualized the rose and got the rose within our vibration, then she told us to become the rose, to become the leaves, the stem, the flower, the color of the rose, become the rose, become it. So you want to be in the vibration, but you want to be able to read the energy. When I said before, when I see things in people's vibration, if I saw a red bike in your vibration, that's all well and good. But when I look at the red bike, I look at what's going on with the red bike when they show it to me. Are the tires flat? Is it rusting? Has it been used for a while? Is it leaning against something? Is it laying on the ground? What's going on with the bike? Not because it's a red bike, but what is going on with it because it's there. When you're visualizing or meditating in your vibration, it's never the destination you're going to. You might want yourself completely healthy. You might want everything in your whole life. But subconsciously, you're asking for health, mediumship, visualization. You're asking for this stuff. Subconsciously or consciously, you are. So when you're asking for this, when you're putting this in motion, what do you see on your journey to it? If I tell you to walk on a road, what kind of road do you walk on? Brick, dirt, sand? Did you even have a road? Was it in the woods? Do you have leaves on it? What was going on with the road that I told you to walk on? Tell you to walk through a doorway. What kind of door is it? Do you have a door? Maybe you don't even have a door. Maybe you just walk right through. What are your guides trying to show you as you make your journey to where you need to be? What do you see? When you get into meditation, usually when you get into meditation, your guides will gather around you. They will gather in your vibration. You'll have joy guides, master teachers, guides, people that are guiding in your vibration. They will try to show you stuff. They will try to get you in a position of where your consciousness is. If you're in a position right now that you want to train for mediumship, they're going to try to lead you in that direction. Maybe you're in a position right now to ask for health vibration, highest and best. They're going to point you in that direction. But as you move down the path, what are you seeing as you transpose the path? Through that, when I said the candle gazing, the mirror gazing, all this stuff in the vibration, it all has ways of being tools. Now, people say, well, Lois, you don't want to use tools. You don't want to use, there are tools. There are tools how to train yourself. You might like mirror gazing, holding a mirror and looking in the mirror and just staring at yourself in the mirror, just staring into the vibration. But as you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see going on around you? What do you see? And it could take a week, maybe a month for you to eventually do that. Or maybe that might not work for you. Maybe you're going to do cards. Maybe you're going to pull up cards and look at cards and see what they mean to you. I teach tarot, but I teach tarot mostly for individuals to know what the cards mean to them. Not what the book tells you they mean, it's what they mean to you. The Ace of Swords can mean a certain thing to me, but it could mean something different to you. Different cards, there's so many cards on the market now that there's different meanings to every single deck of cards. So what deck did it propose to you? What deck jumped out at you? What deck do you use? What radiates to you? Do you know all the symbols to that? When I was young, my mother used to teach me how to do teacup readings, coffee ground readings, tea leaf readings. I used to do those. I can still do them. But the symbols within the coffee cup or within the coffee grounds or the tea leaves, I would know exactly what those symbols meant when I saw them. I knew what they meant. I knew how they connected to me, how they manifested in the vibration, how they showed up. I already knew what they meant. And that's what you're really teaching yourself. One of the tools in doing mediumship is not to just say, Lewis, I'm just going to, no. You just don't just do this. The mediumship is a movement for you. It's to move you down the path to enlightenment. It's not to move everybody else into enlightenment and you left on the side street. It is to move you to enlightenment, to higher ground. That's what it's supposed to do. And that's through the practice. Sure, I give readings, I do this, I do that, but it still encourages me to bring me to a higher sense of consciousness, a higher vibration. Sure, I'm not where I need to be yet. Probably never will be where I think I should be till I leave the earth plane. I might not be even then, but I will know I'm moving in the direction, taking steps forward and learning different things, learning it and seeing what works for you, getting books, doing different things, seeing what actually works for you. Not because I'm telling you it works. I want you to look at it and go, that works for me. That was perfect for me. Then that's what works for you. When I send out healing, and I send out healing quite a bit to individuals, and I visualize the person off at a distance being healed, or at least the energy being used to where it needs to go. And I get letters from people that tell me, oh my God, Lou, they took them off the ventilator. They're perfectly healthy. Everything went away, blah, 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 blah. And I just say, thank you. And they're just all off of my vibration. I'm going, it's not me. I just send the energy. I know spirit arrives with it. I know spirit does something with it, but I have just sent the energy in your direction. So I do. I don't direct it and say, oh my God, it's got to go to this certain illness. I just let them take it and put it where they need to put it. Same thing with the symbols that appear in our vibration through mediumship. What symbols are they trying to put in front of you? What are the repetition of symbols that they're trying to show you? Pay attention to those, especially if you're in a reading and you see a red canoe. Then a couple of readings later, you see another red canoe. You see another red canoe. It's this movement of symbol, the same symbol. Then there's spirits trying to get your attention with that, not the clients. They're trying to get your attention with what's appearing in your vibration, not the clients. That doesn't mean you could be giving somebody the reading about the red canoe and they go, that doesn't mean nothing to me. But you keep seeing the red canoe, it's not for them, it's for you. It's to get your attention. Because when we do mediumship, we're in this connection to mediumship. We're kind of overshadowed by spirit. So we're not really in here. We kind of don't remember what we've said. We go off into a different modality. So when Spirit's working with us, that's when we allow our guards to go down, but we allow ourselves to be more open to communication with the spirit world. By allowing ourselves to be more open with the spirit world, it allows them to drop in information for us, for our journey, for our connection. You know, my guides always tell me, Lewis, what are you asking for? We will always take care of you. Well, you know, I have ideas that I think we should do, but guides don't answer it that way. They usually will just bring things in my vibration and go, haha, here you go. They don't just show me everything right at the one moment. When I sent many years ago, working with mediumship and large psychic fairs, I was in large psychic fairs doing it, but remember, psychic fairs are different than a lot of venues because then you have a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on around you, a lot of different types of energy going on in your auric field. That's why you have to train yourself to block all that out. Block it out. Because if you allow it to reside, you'll never be able to do readings because now it's too noisy, it's not enough noise, there's too much noise, I can't do this. No, it isn't me doing it. It's allowing spirit to work. So it's the whole thing of that is visualization. You're trying to open your third eye. You haven't quite got it open. You're working on it though. Then you should lay down. Get yourself some lapis. Get some citrine. Citrine's a good stone. It's a yellow stone. It's called citrine. You've got lapis, which is a really good stone for opening the third eye. And lay down. Place the stone on your third eye. Place it on your third eye. And meditate with the stone on your third eye. Meditate with it. It allows the energy to move into a higher sense of consciousness, a higher sense. One of the teaching things I have is place a lapis or clear quartz crystal over your third eye chakra. Even go into a crystal shop with the intention of finding the right crystal. If I'm drawn to one crystal, which may help you live, use the affirmation, I am profoundly clairvoyant. It is safe for me to see, release, and heal whatever fears and trauma you have around seeing spirit. We allow ourselves to say, I'm not afraid. I love it when I have individuals tell me, Lewis, we got to protect ourselves. Be very afraid. Well, I'm not really afraid of connection to situations. I'm not really afraid of that. Because when you are dealing with spirit, spirit is protecting you. They're working with you. They have to have you as the clear channel to get forth the messages or to be able to communicate with you. If they scare you to death, you're not going to communicate with them. You're not going to work with them. If they disrupt your vibration, you won't do that. So to be afraid of what they're going to bring. Now, I discern the spirits. Sure, I discern them. I make sure that whoever's gathering around me is supposed to be here. But I don't protect myself from situations on the other side because I know that my guides, I picked them. I picked who was supposed to come with me. A lot of people say, well, I have the Archangel Michael, I have Raphael, I have Gabriel, I have archangels in my vibration. Well, they're there to protect you. You have family members, they're probably a little scrappy. They'll probably take care of you too. You have a lot of people on the other side that have got your back. Unless you do something completely stupid and you go somewhere you're not supposed to go and start dealing with some kind of spirit that you weren't supposed to deal with in the first place, then that is up to you. But before you do something like that, your guides will show you, don't go there. Or they'll break your car down, they'll do something. They will not allow you to arrive at that situation. They will not. So listening to yourself, listening to you. When you're dealing with certain people, certain situations, listen to your vibration. Give them a wide berth. Let them be. Learned over my life to let certain people be. They're on their journey. I'm not going to change their journey. I can't. All I can do is give them enough wide berth that if they explode, I'm not going to be hit by shrapnel. So I give them a wide berth. I allow them to be them, be you, and I will be me. And I'm not going to cow myself down to a situation and say, well, I guess we're going to have to walk together, so I have to be like you. No. And I know some people want to say, oh, Lewis, I just want to fit in. Fitting in isn't always what it cracked up to be. Don't try to just fit into the vibration. Find your vibration. I've been in classes most of my life, and I've gone to classes that people will tell me, you must walk this way, you must do mediumship this way, and it must be the only way, the only truth, the only guide to the spirit world is following me. Follow me. That scares me because now I've got to try to walk a certain way, be a certain medium, be a certain vibration that isn't really connected. I can only be me, and I can only work with what works for me. Same thing with you. What works for you? Maybe playing music. Maybe playing music gets you into the spiritual connection. Maybe drawing. Maybe doing some kind of drawing or doodling. Well, do that. George Anderson used to do that. I think he still does it. He doodles with his hand as he gives you a reading, and he draws pictures. He does stuff with his hand, allows his hand to do automatic writing. So it's what works for you. It's what connects to the vibration with your energy field. I'm telling you, when you do this, when you do connecting to the spirit, don't allow people to say to you, this is it. It's not it. I give you all kinds of material. I give you all kinds of stuff. Take it, use it, put it in the shelf, put it in the trash. Hey, I'm just sharing information, putting information into your vibration. Use what you can. The rest of it, leave it on the track for somebody else. I deem mediumship a lot like coupons in the store. I I get coupons. So I walk by something, don't quite like it, don't like the price of it, but I get a coupon. So I leave it. Don't like it, don't need it, but the next person might love it. They'll take the coupon. So I leave coupons around the store. So somebody else will just love that thing on the shelf. Doesn't quite fit me. So I'm not going to get it. Because a mediumship's a lot like that. Don't sit there and go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Why? Because so-and-so said that way. Really? Does it work for you? Well, I haven't got it to work yet. Well, maybe it's not your vibration. That's why I teach all these different modalities of mediumship, of healing. Not because I want you to do them all. Not because I want you to be a Reiki master. I don't want you to do all this other energy, Tahuna. I don't want you to do all this other vibration. But pick what works for you, what fits the vibration for you. I had a medium years ago. I was not doing well. I was ill. So he told me something. He said, why don't you just bless a crystal? So I said, bless perfect health into this crystal. Perfect health in this crystal. And he said, put it in a blue bottle, put it in a blue cup or a blue glass, has to be glass, fill it full of water, put it on the windowsill, let the sun hit it all day. Let it charge that water. Then, at the end of the day, drink the water. I didn't become perfectly healthy, but got over the situation. So crystals are this energy vibration. Hold the energy you put into them, especially quartz crystals. They're batteries. So if you put the intention of seeing spirit and push that clear crystal on your forehead, you might see spirit. You want perfect health? Hold on to the crystal. You want a good crystal? Hold on to it. Put in some water. Drink the water. That might work for you. Just might change the whole vibration. But you have to believe it. We had a lady last night that had rheumatoid arthritis. She came to the camp to get it. She wanted to know if the healing would be able to cure it, because she didn't think healing could cure rheumatoid arthritis. Well, right then, she was kind of already putting out into the spirit world, none of you guys know what you're doing. You're not going to be able to heal me. But remember, there are people in the spirit world that have knowledge on every illness, every vibration, every modality of mediumship, every situation of seeing spirit, working with spirit, and understanding spirit. There's experts there. So all you have to do is just send a call out into the spirit world. That expert will arrive. They will arrive in your vibration. So the question is not to tell yourself that you can't do it. Bothers me when people tell me that. Oh, I can't do it. I can't. Well, you can't do it that way, but what other way do you think that you can do it? What's another way of understanding how to do it? Maybe you might not work in the way that you were taught. Maybe you need to leave those little coupons on the table for somebody else to pick up and move on to something else. Maybe that's not your modality. Remember that. Don't say, oh, Louis, I can't do it because I've tried and it's just, well, maybe you're trying in the wrong direction. Stop that. Move off in this different direction. Move off into, ask your guides, is there something I'm missing with my healing or my mediumship that I need to look at? Please show me. Please show me. And you're watching. Because with mediums are people that are intuitive with the spirit world. Spirit already knows that you're intuitive. They know that. They have that whole connection on the other side. They know that you're intuitive. So when you ask, they'll start bringing things to you. Sometimes they just slap you with it. Hit you in the back of the head with it. You got it. Other times, it's all this visualization going on ahead of you. That's why you have to learn how to visualize. Because these things, you have to learn what's yours, your imagination, and what Spirit's trying to show you. You're trying to work to make something appear in front of you. That's you. But if a vision or something appears in your third eye, in your mind's eye, and you didn't do anything to make that vision appear, that is Spirit trying to communicate with you. So you're trying to differentiate between those two vibrations. And once you're able to visualize, then you're able to visualize into the spirit world what you're looking for. You're able to visualize through your meditations, through your quiet moments, visualize what you're looking for. Allow them to go find it. Allow them to go sense. Let them go find the situation for you. See, mediums are these connection. The only reason I'm pretty decent at it, I've been doing it since I've been 5 years old. I've been doing this for a while, but I still don't think I'm perfect at it. I don't think that. I think that I'm still learning. I'm still collecting information. Might be in a different classroom than you at this moment, but I'm still collecting information. I still haven't got to the classroom I think I should be in. That's the same thing with meditations. People get to a certain point in meditation, then they stop. Don't go any further. They've stopped. They've stopped in that little schoolhouse. They moved to the new school. They just stopped in an old schoolhouse. And they stop there. For most of their life, they stay there. They don't move any further. Well, I have a strong connection that I want to see what's behind the next door. I always want to see what Spirit has for me next. What's the next view that I'm going to get? That intrigues me. After all these years that I've been doing meditation and working with Spirit, meditation intrigues me because I never know where Spirit's actually going to let me see, what they're going to let me visualize on the other side. That's why I work with Lucerne, my trance guide, because when he takes over, I get to travel. I get to see different modalities on the spirit side of life, which works extremely well. Extremely well. That I get to download information while I'm out and Lucerne's working through me. So I get just as much benefit from this whole situation with Lucerne as other people do. But I get that benefit being able to be out of vibration. But trance mediumship are different. Trance mediumship is different than just regular mediumship because trance, you're allowing somebody to take control. You're allowing that more of a control factor. Mediumship, I'm controlling it. I'm just allowing them to run the information through the conduit. And I have to understand what the information means, make sense of it, and give it to you. With Lucerne, I don't have to do that. I don't get the information. Lucerne says the information. I don't get it. I don't get to turn it off my head and go, oh, we need to check this out, see what this means. Lucerne just gives the information. So it's different than actually working in mediumship, regular mediumship. But find the tools, find the vibration of the tools, find some stones, find some cards, find pendulums, find whatever works for your vibration, whatever connects to what radiates to your field. And talk to them. Naturally talk to them. That's a communication is one of the key tools with Spirit. Not Spirit communicating with you. You communicating with Spirit. Having that conversation with them. Although I don't know who my guides are. You should. You should meditate on who your guides are. Meditate on who they are. Why are they here? How are they helping you? Should you personally address higher energy to draw some other guides into your vibration that could help you with circumstances within your life at this moment? If you're having trouble with your head or your heart, you're not going to call into the spirit world for a podiatrist to work on your feet. You need somebody that knows the energy that's happening in the upper part of your body. So the same thing with Spirit. You don't want just some guy that doesn't have any idea what you're looking for. You want somebody from the spirit world that knows where you're going, knows where you're heading. That's why you would try to talk to your guides, get an idea of your vibration. Usually guides will appear. You'll see a face, you'll see something that you didn't manifest, you didn't make that face appear. It appeared in front of you through a dream state or through your waking state. You go, oh, one of my guides. And you should tell your guides at that moment, say, you know, I saw a face the other day. Is that one of my guides? And then watch and see what your guides tell you. And the answers will come. It's just this learning on this repetition of how they arrive. I could hear music playing in my house. I know the song that plays uh, in my house. I know the song that plays in my house. And it belonged to my mother. My mother loved this record. She loved this record of the old Chuckwagon Gang. And they used to sing a certain song, the old Chuckwagon Gang. And that song plays in my house every once in a while. I know my mom's around. She loved that song. She loved listening to it. So when I hear it, I know she's somewhere near me. But it's associating these symbols with different people, allowing them to come in on those symbols. You don't have to say out loud to spirit, but in your mind, say, you know, my father used to do this. I'd like to see that. I like to see spirit say that to me. I like that information to come over the radio. Because how many times in our lives have we sat in our car on the radio and turned on the radio and the song that belonged to somebody we loved, somebody that we had a strong connection to, came on the radio, started playing just because we turned it on. So it's this question of really, truly understanding where you are, not where somebody else is. Don't look at people in classics. I have people come to my class and go, oh my God, they're so much better than I am. Well, they've been coming to classes for a while. They're probably going to be a little bit better. They're supposed to be. They've been coming to classes for all they should be. But don't get so upset with somebody else might be doing better. They might be doing a little bit better because they've probably been doing it a little bit longer. You're going to do it how you do it and how you manifest first. You go, oh, I'm not really good at this. I don't get names. Oh, I don't know. You have to figure out how this vibration shows up, how it connects to you. Because when you do the mediumship, it's that getting quiet visualization. Key. Get rid of the fear. Get rid of that total fear situation going on around you. If you're afraid of spirit, you're afraid of them showing up, you're afraid of them being near you, talking to you, being around you, probably shouldn't do this work because they're going to show up. It's getting rid of the fear that actually propels itself in this work because we're always taught, oh, protect yourself. Oh my God, you're going to draw some. Really? Who am I going to be drawing to me? Through all my guides, through all the vibration and the positive energy I put out into the spirit world and all the guides and all the protectors that are following me, how are these people going to bother me? Unless I propel myself in that direction. So I tell a story on one of my things. I had a lady tell me, she says, oh, Louis, I have this kid in my house. He's in the spirit world. He's got a knife and he's cutting everything. He's cutting me. He's cutting things in the house. He runs to his house with a knife. He just wants to cut people. Could you please come over and get him out of my house? Really? Am I going to put myself in that house? That kid with that knife is in your house. He's not in my house. He's in yours. He might like me. He'll come home with me and I have to deal with him in my house. He's in yours. And the only way to get rid of a spirit, the only way to get rid of a vibrational spirit, remember this, is that you, the person seeing the spirit or dealing with the spirit, has to make them leave. You have to be the one saying, be gone. You have no business here. Be gone. Addressing your troops, your guides, your people that are with you, saying, you need to get this person out of here. You need to get them out. Because if I could come into your house, chase them out of the house. Very good at chasing situations out of your home. But as soon as I leave, get in my car, drive down the street, I'm heading home. You say, oh God, they got rid of that. You start thinking about the spirit that's in your house. Where's that spirit? Right back in your home. The spirit hasn't left. Go back. Because you did not physically say, get out. You have to tell them to leave and make sure that you mean it. Ask for perfect health. Ask so many times for perfect health that your body has no other option but to comply. Ask for something in your life, just do repetition of it. Affirmations, repetition of it. Your body or your guides in the spirit world have no other option but to comply to the affirmations. So I say affirmations every day. I say them probably 20, 30 times a day. I say affirmations. Not because I need spirit to find me on the path. I know they're there. But what I'm doing is I'm clearing residue, either from this life, past life, incarnations, whatever's going on around me. I'm always working at clearing residue. I do a lot of the Ho'oponopono. Sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I do Ho'oponopono prayer. I do the Ho'oponopono. I do different prayers. I do different vibrations. I do them repetitiously. I don't just say the Ho'oponopono prayer once. I might recite that Ho'oponopono repetitiously 15, 20, 30 times, and just within 4 or 5 minutes. I don't do it just once. Oh, God, they heard me. No, I make sure that there's like an echo going on in my vibration as I propel it into the spirit world. Well, I propel it in the spirit world. When I sing, I don't sing really soft that nobody can hear me. I sing loud enough, probably people in the next town can hear me. I want spirit to hear me, hear what I need to transpose within my life. And that's where the tools come in. That's why these exercises, doing what works for you, what fits the vibration for you. Research on the internet, different tools, different vibrations, different things. See which one, see if something pops out to you. Maybe something will just pop out to you. Maybe it'll just say, oh my God, look at that. That's perfect for me. I should try that. Then try that. See where spirit's leading you. Because the internet's the perfect place, because when you go punch in something, it'll take you all these different websites. You look at them and go, ooh, that's cool. I never thought of that. I never thought of doing that. Or look at different things. I'm going to a class tonight in remote viewing just to see what the person's teaching in remote viewing. I still take classes. I still go to learning. I'm still learning. I'm still reading. I'm still conversing with the spirit world. Because this is only this lifetime. But remember, we have information in our higher consciousness from every lifetime that we've ever lived. We have more information residing with our own being than most libraries have on their shelves. All we have to do is get in contact with it. We have to get in the flow and become comfortable with the contact in that vibration. You could have been on this airplane 1,200 times. And every time you lived a lifetime, you collected information from that lifetime, from that incarnation, from that vibration. Every experience in your life in this lifetime gets put into that information. How you solved it, how you put it together, how you put it in motion. I taught class the other day. Most people will come to you from what you've gone through in your life. I've gone through abuse, all kinds of stuff in my life. People come to me because I've gone through stuff that I've gone through. I've made it through. I've moved through that situation. So people come to me for that. If you've gone through divorce, separation, death in the family, different things, you'll see people arriving. Then you'll see people won't arrive. You won't know why they won't come to you. They won't come to you because you don't have expertise in the problem or be able to contact the people they need to correct the problem in their life. You don't get them. I don't attract people that are into drugs and drugs. I don't know that world. I don't know that world at all. I have no connection to that world. I know people that get readings from people that are in that world, and these people were in that world. They were in that world and got out. And they're going to be able to help them more than I can. So I know that there are plenty of situations in this world to take care of, to understand and put in motion in our lives. But it's this connection within the vibration. How do you connect to spirit? How do you connect to the spirit world? How do you? Not me. Maybe the things I teach you today, visualization, the different things. There's cards, there's psychic cards out there that you can buy and put them out and see if you can read the symbol on the other side of the card. You don't have to spend all the money on that. You can just buy regular cards, put the card out and see if you can guess what's on the other side of the cards. See if you can guess what's on the other side of the cards. The thing is, it's more psychometry. the energy in your hands, the energy in your fingers, the energy in your vibration. By touching the object, you leave some of your energy onto it. So if somebody gives you an object they've had on their vibration for many years, then that energy will be there. Because I have energy objects here that I've had through airports, through spirit world, drop things in a room. I have a guitar pick. From a famous musician, and his energy's on it because he used a guitar pick for many, many years. So his energy is still on that guitar pick from him using it and him putting it in motion. If I want to contact somebody in my family tree, my vibration, they're off at a distance. I will get something that they cherish in their life, send their energy onto it. I'll put it in my space that I'm meditating. I'll meditate on them with their energy from that object in my space to make the energy stronger, to make that call out into the spirit world. Please, I'd love to speak to you. Try to get them to come closer, to come into the vibration, to be here. But that's all through practice. That's all it is practice. Practice makes perfect. But practice. You're practicing mediumship and you're working with mediumship. Awesome. Working mediumship. Maybe you're a psychic artist. Maybe you're automatic writing. Maybe you'll do certain modalities of healing. Maybe whatever the gift, whatever spirit bestowed upon your vibration, be the best at that you can be. When you did the 4 affirmations, there will be do your best. Do your best. And that's the question. It says, one of the things are be impeccable with your word. The word is not what you're saying to people. It is the word that you're talking about yourself to the spirit world. It's a story you're telling spirit about you. The word that you're telling them, that story you're telling yourself, that story you're telling spirit about you. Do the best you can. Maybe you're ill. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you can't get around that much. Maybe you just, as circumstances of your life, it's just not there just yet. But be the best you can for you at this moment in your life. At this moment. This moment. I could have probably done a lot more stuff when I was 20, 25, 24. I'm getting up there in years now. So I'm probably not doing as much as I did back in those days, but I'm still doing the best I can for where I am right now. I'm being impeccable with my word. When you tell spirit stuff, they listen to you. If you tell them subconsciously, they listen to you. That's why I do the affirmations. That's why I do them. I don't do the affirmations just to hear myself talk, but I do them to clear, to move stuff out of the room. So new stuff can arrive in the room. Don't need to have the warehouse packed when the trucks arrive. I have no place to put it. I need to clear the warehouse, need to clear the room. That's why you say the affirmations, to clear the energy, to clear the vibration. We live at the end of this. I'll be able to answer questions at the end of this. The question here is really truly understanding where you are, where the vibration is. And what I'm going to do is I am going to allow the ones who want to ask questions, you can unmute yourself and ask me questions, and I will try my best to answer them for you. But we've got about 10 minutes left of this class. So if you want to ask me a question, I think, Jennifer, you wanted to ask a question. You want to ask me a question, so you can unmute. Have to unmute yourself.
Once I stared into, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Once I was staring into the mirror and I felt like I literally could like see my body separate from myself. And like if I had wanted to, I wouldn't do it, but I could have like left my body is what it felt like. Have you ever had that experience with staring into the mirror?
I've had that experience. They'll bring you back. It allows you to work on yourself, allows you to see things you might not be able to see within yourself, but they'll bring you back. Sometimes when I sit in front of a mirror, I'll see all this like fog coming off the mirror, running down the mirror. I'm going, ooh, fog. Then I'll see hands in the mirror or see people. Then I see myself walking off, and I'm sitting in the chair, but I'm walking. I'm going, ooh, I'm going out looking for something. Okay. So I allow myself to go because I know I'm still here and I'm protected.
Right.
Back. But before I start the mirror gazing, I give them an idea of what I'm looking for.
Right.
Connect what I would like to connect to, allow them to show me what that is. But
And you sit down so you don't fall down, right?
I sit down because in my seance room, I have a cabinet in my home. And what I do, if you have a walk-in closet or you have someplace in that you put a mirror in, I used to have a walk-in closet in my house. We're in walk-in closets here, but I had a door on the walk-in closet, so I hung a large mirror on the wall on the walk-in closet. I put a chair in front of the mirror, closed the door. I was in a darkened space, and I could just make out my face in the mirror. I put a little candle, a little small Waldorf candle in there, and I could see just make my face out in the mirror. And then I would see my face change, guides show up, me leave my body, different things happen. But I'd be able to watch and see what's going on. I always tell people that's the fun part about doing this work. If you do that, the transfiguration, you'll see your mouth move. You'll be talking, and you're not talking, but that spirit in the mirror is talking to you as fast as they can. So trying to figure out what they're saying, what they're trying, what is your higher self, what is your vibration trying to tell you? That's that mouth moving. Even though you're sitting with your mouth closed, the mouth in the mirror just moving away. I'm learning how to read lips, trying to figure out what they're saying. But I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. But I get an inspiration. So I tell them before I start, I say, if you have something to tell me, show me. Show me what. And it could be an animal. It could be a crow. It could be some kind of animal come into the vision of the mirror. And it might not be the crow per se, but the spiritual meaning of a crow.
Right.
Show you. So a lot of the stuff appears, so you just keep track of what's going on. Like if you meditate, you say, Louis, I've left my body and they took me into this red door. Then you go into something else, you see another red door, another red door. Then you end up somewhere and somebody says, oh my God, you should check this person out. And the door on their house is a red door. Spirit will say, boom, 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 go. But they'll try to get your attention first because they go.
They always bring you back. You've never got stuck outside.
But I never really got pulled out of my body enough that I haven't gotten back.
Right.
I've always been able to, I'm always connected because I've never lost track of where I'm at.
Right.
So we're always connected and our guides are traveling with us. So they're protecting us as we make this journey. Unless we do something crazy and we go somewhere that we go, oh, we should go there. And everybody's going, oh, don't go there. And you go, no, I'm going there. But it's not a good place to go.
One of my yoga teachers can bring the energy up to the top of her head, but she doesn't let it go out because she was told she has to meet a teacher first that can bring her back into her body, basically. So it bounces up to the top of her head, but she stops.
When I teach meditation, what I do is I have people bring the energy of Mother Earth through their pulse holes or feet, all the way through their body into their heart chakra. Allow the energy to reside there. Then bring the energy through your crown chakra, through the third eye, throat, bring that into the heart. Allow both of them to commingle and let the light within your vibration to spread out from your heart, not from your crown, from your heart. So that way you're not going out through your crown,
right?
Right through your heart. But it didn't matter if you went through your crown, you still would be protected. The guides would still be there, even though if you don't know who they are, they'd still be there. Maybe you did go through, but then once going through your crown chakra, then you get a little ungrounded. Then you have to go, oh God, I got to ground myself, because you get very high. You get a higher state, so you get very high, so you got to ground yourself. You got to, So that's the only thing that happens is you have to ground yourself. You have to ground yourself. If you're doing it that way, you have to ground. You have to ground yourself in the situation. But everything about the vibration, everything that connects with the vibration is allowing yourself to be you, not somebody else, you. Because you could be going through things, I go through things, Tajiri's going through things, Marsha. Rosemary, we all go through things. We all have things happening in our lives. But it's what goes on in our lives that we have to say, ooh, that's for me. That's mine. We pick those. And that's the little bits on the path that we have to choose to get us to where we need to be. That's why we move. That's why we change locations, we change jobs, change relationships, do all this stuff in our lives. Not because we have to, it's because it's the next step on the path. We look at it and we venture in that direction. But the reason is just trying to find out what works for you, what works, what connects to you. Everybody's talented in mediumship. Everybody is. So the question is how much of the mediumship do you want to see? My grandfather used to run a sideshow at a carnival. How much of the sideshow do you want to see? Costs a little extra money, but how much do you want to see in that sideshow? But it doesn't cost you any more money to see the rest of the show. It just costs you more energy within your being to sit, to be quiet, to look, to understand how to move forward. It just takes time. It just takes more time of you sitting still and talking to spirit to see the rest of the show, to see the rest of the vibration. But it works. It just fits. It just fits the vibration. It just does. But you're not going to leave your body and just be gone. If you're gone, if you're on the other side, people will find the body. I always tell people you'll find the body. God bless. I went very quickly. I'm off on the other side and I'm traveling. But unless they're not going to take you, my mother used to set up a little light in her room. She'd go meditation and she'd set up a little light in her room and she'd be in her room. So, but then she would think they would snap her silver cord, jerk her off to the spirit world. Really? I'd sneak in, I'd turn her light off while she's in meditation. So, special kid I was. Turn her light off. But I hope you guys enjoyed today. I hope you did. I hope you enjoyed class today. Next week, I don't know what we're going to. We're back on again. I'm back doing it every Thursday. I have my Friday night class. I'm going to start doing some classes, live classes online. So we're going to try to get the classes going online. And I'll be up in Maine this year. I'll be up doing a bunch of classes up in Maine this year. But I will be trying to get things online so we can do classes so people can attend the classes from somewhere else. But we're trying to get them to get the cameras because the cameras don't pan. So to try to get everybody involved and stuff involved, if the cameras aren't panning, you're just sitting at home going, what am I doing here? I want to be able to pan and be able to work with other people in the room. So we're going to work on that, working on that. So I hope you enjoyed today, and and this will be posted online. So it'll be posted. So